Welcome into Just 5 minutes for me to talk about some stuff. Generally, it's one subject. Not today. It's about jobs and teachers. And let me start with the last first. I had a number of the best teachers in the world on the program this past week, and there are things that I learned from them. I don't know necessarily that I can apply them to my game, and I was not a ball beater. I'm not somebody who sits on the range. I'm not a range rat, never was. I wanted to play golf holes. That's just the way that I was, but I do work with somebody, and the most valuable thing that I get out of working with Jack Fields at Charlotte Country Club, who's the head of instruction there, who was and still is a great player. He's in his early 30s, has ungodly speed, is the time. It's the time together to try to do something to where, yeah, ultimately it's about me getting better. But it's weird. 3 years ago when I started with Jack, I said to him, I said, look, this is not reconstruction. And I'm not talking about the class about reconstruction. I'm talking about you're not reconstructing me. I am who I am. I have my assets, which are modest, and I have my limitations, which are many. But I want you to identify one thing that you think is the overwhelming common fault that you see from my golf swing, and let's address it. And that's all we're going to do for a year. And in that year, I went from a 3.9 to a 1.4. And that's not like, hey, look at you. The most important thing about the 3.9 to 1.4, and whether he liked it or not, you know what I did every time that I played well, which was more often than it had been previously? I texted Jack because I felt like we were doing this together. And that's the thing about, this term that we hear now in professional golf. My team. And at first, I'm not a big eye roller, but I did it. Like, come on. What in the world would guys like Tommy Bolt or Bob Golby or Lee Trevino say if they heard the term team? Like, really? Come on, man, it's me. I'm the lone horseman on the prairie here. At the end of the day, we live and die with how I strike it. But I get it. Because when you embark on something now with all the technology that we have available to us, and it's not just the best players, it's all of us. Most places have this technology for you to not only see your swing, but to see the data associated with your swing. And all these coaches and teachers and instructors that every day go out there and their lesson books are generally fuller, and some of them are booked through 2026. They are doing it, yes, to make a buck. But I can promise you there's enormous pride that they take in you getting better. And that's cool. And that's why I thank all of them for doing it, and specifically all the ones who join me. Let me get to the other jobs. The jobs at the top of the food chain in the industry of golf, from the PGA of America to the PGA Tour to the LPGA to the R&A to Live Golf. All those heads, all those people that are at the end of that C-suite, they're all new in 2025. And they're all new at a time where they're coming in where business is good. Like lesson books are full and TV ratings are good and resorts have got full capacity. But for them, and again, this is at a time where all these organizations I actually think have a better relationship than they've ever had. They're not thinking as myopically as a lot of them used to. Look, we got to do this together. But the one important issue that as we head into 2026 that they better find some consensus on is the golf ball. Because for me and you, and if you play for a living and you're watching, thanks. But most everybody watching is somebody who plays recreational, and for you it's 2030. But for the best players in the world, it's 2028. What ball are they playing? Because 2028, sadly, is going to be here sooner than we think. And you better figure that out. Because this started with the Distance Insights report, which predated COVID. It's been a long road, but that road's coming to an end. And we need to know not only what the ball we're playing, but by definition, who's elite. And it's not me, but we know who is, for the most part, but not down to the granular level. So that was just 5. Jobs, teachers. And teachers, they got a hell of a job with you saying, make me better. That was just 5 this week.